Fire, what you saying?
Yes, I. Life is good. Life is great. Give thanks.
We are here again, Ballhead and the Dread Podcast. We give thanks for everyone who's been supporting the thing from those times to now. I do have to remind you too, one, make sure you check out Far Eyes EP. Make time, right? Prioritize your time for some good roots rock reggae music.
Roots.
The word sound. Disrupting the Status Quo EP there. He has some videos also if you're a visual person. Also, right, make sure you check out our latest short film, History of Jamaica's Most Famous Shirt, the best Marina, link there. Both links are also in the description. And Far Right, what we're reasoning about today?
Well, today we are reasoning about understanding the process of success, because most people them just see success as this destination, but them not really understand like the journey where you really have to go up on the rocky road them where you have to drive on, the road them where you have to walk on when you reach on the mountainside and you have to climb and them thing that one day if you have to drop off, but you know, them not understand them type of intricacies they will go into success. Them just see it as this thing where a man upon social media flash this and a flash that, and oh yeah man, we make it. No, that's the really main thing, you know. Yeah man, everybody does want to make it, but how you make it? So that we really want to break down and lay it to the people then, because we really want to see everybody a strive, you know. But we don't want people to be this unrealistic, have these unrealistic expectations and overstand say, yeah, I have to go through the journey.
And Far Right, first thing we need to do before we even start is inform the people and notify them that you have to, first of all, have a definition for success, your own definition. We have been given a definition of success as a society that supports capitalism, supports consumerism, mindless consumption, and other things. But you yourself, there is no fulfillment in that. I'm just going to get your heads up right now, right? You can make $1 million, you make $10 billion and all that. Not saying that won't improve your lifestyle, but that won't deal with the internal fulfillment. It just won't. First thing you have to do is have a clear definition of what success is, right? It may take you time. This is not a rush thing. Write down some things. Write what you're comfortable with. I think that's the thing. People are more what other people expect of them or what they think they should have instead of like what you want. You know, you may feel you need a lot. Then when you get it, you realize you don't need it. You may think you don't need that much or whatever it is. So I think the first thing is to, and I want to do say your definition of success will evolve at time because you have a different perspective in life and just have a different overs of yourself. Because I think as you learn more about yourself, your definition would change because you would need different things, particularly less things. I notice. I think the more you grow, the less things you're gonna need, right? And before we get into the process of success, I want to let people know this is not a popular thought, but success is pretty boring. Specifically, the process of working towards your success, right? Success consists of the same behaviors consistently and daily. It may be magnified in regards to the amount of energy you put into it or the difficulty of it. I don't know if I'm clear of saying that one properly or in regards to, how would I say this? Probably you get what I'm saying in regards to the complexity of what you're doing, right? Should magnify as you grow in whatever you're doing, but it's pretty boring. If you do know highly successful people, they're on a rigid schedule, pretty quiet. Another thing I learned in my life, success is very quiet, right? Success is not loud. No disrespect to my people on social media, whatever going on, right? But I think that's a key indicator you're not successful because you're constantly having to tell people you're successful in return to get some form of validation. And while you're making all this content telling people you're successful, I don't know how you have time in your personal life to work on things that will actually make you successful, right? So I wanted to give you those things before we get into the reasoning, right? All right, I'm going to mention something, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. The first step towards success is actually starting. You have to start, right? Whether it's writing down what you want to do, clarifying your goals, figuring out how to reach the goals. Too much time, a little tip here. Too much focus is on the end, the outcome, and not necessarily like how to start, what is needed to get to that point. So what's your thoughts on that, Fire? Do you think the most important part is just starting some part in the process?
It definitely more than necessarily say the most important part, because if you think about it, 90% of businesses fail, which them did have to start for fail, which is the key indicator still, but it's very crucial for at least start, because I usually hear the elders them a say you can't win the lottery if you never buy a ticket. And that's how most people don't understand. Like everybody else say, yeah man, me gonna make it, me gonna rich and me gonna successful and all these things, but like you never actually get into the weeds of putting something, even a business model together. You never even start bag up some put some juice in a bag and start sell it. For say you go start do that. It's feel sorry. For say you go start try it. So most it's very, very intricate and it's very, very needed. It's very, very, very necessary for overstand say you have to start to get towards the destination, because the journey of a 1,000 miles begin with a single step. And that most people need to overstand, because a lot of people live in a fear, you know. So them in fear say, oh, but if I try this, it not go work. But how would you know if it go work if you never actually start? So this, so you see the true importance of actually starting.
Reality meds, and along with starting, right? I have a little note here that I used to do with the kids. All right. So you spoke about this earlier, Fire. I don't know if it's on the phone or previous conversation. You mentioned the importance of having systems, right? I think that's the second component of getting this thing going. Now, realistically, people, please listen, right? And yes, you probably don't look at us as any gurus, but we're extremely successful in the things that we do. So we actually know what we're talking about. All right. So check it out. When you were doing, I'm going to use this, let's do weight loss thing, because that's like a general thing. It's the beginning of the year. You know, people want to lose weight. What happens is, majority of the time, even though I'm going to break this down for weight loss, the concept is universal. I want to lose weight, right? I feel I'm overweight. Maybe I got a little hypertension, some diabetes. I'm tired. Cool. My goal is to lose weight. First off, why is my goal to lose that specific amount of weight? I think that's the first realistic conversation you have to have with yourself. Is it ego driven? Is it healthy? Is it compared to someone else? Time frame now, right? What is the time frame you're going to give yourself to do this thing? Realistic time frame, or no time frame, dependent. Now, in regards to the system, you need to restructure your life to meet the goal. So if I go on my cupboard right now, and there are a lot of things that are contributing to my current health situation and current weight that I have on, these things need to be removed. Now, far right, this is a key component. And you don't want to shock yourself, whether shocking your body, shocking your mind, and this. You got to transition out of that. You have to take time and give yourself time. You know, I'm not no food doctrine person, right? But when people find out about food, they say, yo, yeah, I'm all, I say, far right. Yo, I tell people, I say, yo, just don't cut off stuff. You need to wean yourself off. Whether it's behaviors, food, activity, you need to wean yourself off and wean yourself into other things. If you said, you know, you want to start working on a craft, say you want to be a artist, or, you know, working on a business. All right, I wouldn't drop everything, just do that, like just work on that 24. I would wean myself off. I would try to work on a half hour a day, an hour a day. You know, then later on you would get to 2 hours a day. But I think this overnight success and jumping from this and that is just unnatural. You know, you can't, right, you know how some plants and all that, you can't just go put simple basil into a cold, it's just gonna shrivel up and get shocked. So it's the same type of vibe. Back to the weight thing, you would have to remove the things that's contributing to your weight situation, right? I wouldn't tell you to stop eating that ASAP. I still would recommend the sound of weight still far, but I would still recommend that you eat your cookies and your pie and your cake and your sweet juices. You would have to reduce that far eye. Reduce, and just take your time and reduce. Dr. Dr. Holly mentioned something brilliant stating that, and I'll put the link in here so you can see it. She was mentioning that the soul is patient and the ego is impatient. A lot of time you're too rushing to impress other people and tell them what you're doing to brag about, or quick to show these results. Now, you can do something for extreme results that won't last, and you're going to be back at square one, even worse, specifically with weight, right? So you have to give your time and just wean yourself off, and because you have to remodel your behaviors. That's the whole thing. And the systems that Far I will talk about soon is that by you creating a system, you're creating a pattern, you're creating a schedule that will lead to your result. Yes, we have the result there. You can put it up on the wall, you can put it on a chart, you can write it down, but I can't really focus on the result. I need to do the things that can heighten the probability of me reaching that result consistently, and hold yourself accountable. Those days you don't want to do it, those days where it's like, man, I really don't want to do the half hour, the hour, whatever you're trying to work on. Those are the days you really need to do it, because I heard someone else say something brilliant, saying the brain always loses to consistency or something like that. It was basically like your brain can't beat whatever's being consistently done. So you, in a sense, got to like psych out your brain in a sense. Create a new level of comfort with your brain, because the thing you're doing now is uncomfortable and new. You have to make it so it's comfortable. Farah, did you want to add anything on this the system aspect of like creating a system in regards to what you do?
And that area, see the part here? Is when me feel are the most important part. So there the top about the starting. But no, me think that the consistency mixed with the why are the most important part. Like, why am I doing this, right? Because you see, if you're going to start lower your dosage, then obviously you plan for convert from one system to the next system, because you have a system now of being unhealthy, a system of being not being structured. Now you are trying to move towards a system of health. Just based on the example that I use, you have a system of you are trying to move towards a new system. It's just like when the workplace, if anybody know, they might use one particular technology. Them the contract they finish now, them are gonna move over to a new technology. The employees them have to get trained in the new technology, and then when that new technology they roll out, that is a new technology where every one of the employees them will be working on, and that whole system will be a thing of the past. So systems vary, and that we need to understand which system are we a part of, what system are we creating for ourselves, so we can reach towards the heights of success, and how consistently will we be using that system. So you think about the workplace, because as I said, I use the fitness example, and if we bring the workplace tonight to a something where everybody can identify with, what type of system do you use in the workplace? How often do you use that system to get the results where you need to get to, so your employee can be satisfied, so you can get a paycheck every 2 weeks or every month or every week or whenever. So systems really govern our life, and we need to understand how we create our own internal system when it comes towards driving towards success. And we need to know the why, because I feel like them two they go hand in hand. Because if a man now go stop eat 10 slices of cake if him not have a why, Him have to have a why. If I say, boy, say, why may I do this? Some really need to lose weight. Why me need to lose weight? Because if me continuously have all of these fat a clog up, then it might reach over to my arteries and all of these things. Heart attack is more prominent at this particular age. So if someone so many different reasons, so that's I use some different examples where we think people can identify with. So once I've noticed, we'll cut down this dosage, we have less calorie intake, and then we'll start drinking more water now to make the fat easier for burn and all of these things. So that is what carrying out. So me think that this is the most important part when getting towards being successful, because you need to know the why. And if you don't know the why, you will be doing this, and you're never, ever going to see the results, or you're never going to be satisfied enough, and you'll continuously push yourself. Now, when you think you reach the pinnacle of success, even though when you reach the levels that we know where I go through it phase by phase, but we don't feel the need to say this. If you continuously push yourself and you don't know the why, and you don't consistent with that same why, when you think that you reach success in a journey, that just drain you, and you're going to start feel more depressed, and then you're going to start wonder again, is this really success? Which is the same thing, we're kind of connected to the why, because if you have made success, why would you be draining your own energy just to show say you're successful? That can't be success, because success would have come with the same happiness, but just that you have a particular goal where you reach inside, and you say, okay, I've reached the goal, and then that's the whole definition of success. So I feel like say, having that system in place, having that consistency towards enforcing that system and knowing the why, the combination there is the most important, which starting is very, very necessary to get to the thing, and it's very, very important. But once the one layer up from starting is knowing the why, and then enforcing them systems that they just talk about, and making sure so you carry it out in a particular manner, and you reduce the dosage. Because that, I feel like the fitness example there was a very, very, very important example. You start reduce the dosage, and you start convert to a new system where can carry you towards your destination, you know?
Now, reality meds fire. And there's one thing I want to add it to the consistency discipline thing is time management. Now, this may sound basic to some, but you really, I don't think, well, it's not, I don't think, I know for a fact people are unaware how you spend your time. I can't tell you how to spend your time, right? You need to figure out how to spend your time efficiently, that the time that you spend leads to the goal in a healthy manner. I'm not telling you to get all psycho on me now and lock yourself away and do all this craziness, because we need the balance. You need time for yourself. You need time for your family. You need time for your craft, right? Make a chart. Use your Google Doc, your WordPress, your phone. Make a little chart. Put in the times. Put in how you spend your time. You're supposed to do with your finances also, which we will speak about in a different thing when we do with the finances. You'll see a lot of pockets, because people always say they don't have time. There are very few people on earth who don't have time. Now, I believe, especially if you're in the lower, bottom of the economic ladder and you're working all 3 jobs and all that, you probably don't have no time, right? If you're not in that situation, you have time spending your time wrong, and you don't know how to spend your time. I'll give you an example. If I scroll online for an hour looking at foolishness, right? I have an hour for productivity. Don't get it twisted. If I make 3 phone calls, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a pop on pure foolishness, it's an hour and 10 minutes back right there. You're pretty fire. But we're not looking at these things. We think we don't have time because, I got to go to work for 9 to 5. And you know the average person only work about 3 hours at their job of actual productivity. The rest of the time is spent sitting around, talking, wasting time, doing whatever. If you're at a job, yes, you gotta do your job. But if you're at a job where you have a private computer and you can finish your work early, you may want to do something that's beneficial for yourself instead of talking to other people. The talking to people is a waste of your life that you're not gonna get back. I was reasoning with my empress the other day in regards to, we don't speak about death enough, fire. We don't speak about death enough and acknowledge that we're gonna die. I am going to die. You are going to die, right? Yeah, we could get all spiritual and talk about realms and all this. And this time and space, in this reality, I'm not going to be here forever. So all the talent and all the skill, I have to milk it for whatever. I got to really strain it to the max because I don't know where I'm going to be gone. I think people get too complacent and figure say they're going to be around here forever, yeah? And your talents is wasted. I know the uniqueness of life. You know when a man ejaculate fires, was it millions of billions of sperm that come off? All right. So for me to get the egg is something unique. That I ended up in the egg and not in the toilet. Or in the sheets. You bread? So yeah, so but no, on a serious note though, you do have to look at your time and just see it's a lot of you'll be shy, it's a lot of time wasted. I'm not telling the person you can't watch movies. I feel there's enough time in the day when done properly that you can hit all the points that you need to live a healthy lifestyle and at the same time work on yourself and improve yourself. Next thing I want to talk about, Far Right, is always learning. Some of us the pride is just too far gone, fire. And I know anyone who's very good at what they do and can hold conversations, just a sensible person, they are always learning. They're a student of life. This has nothing to do with you educate, because I want to say this, Fire. A lot of people that doing it, I've noticed this. I'm not sure if you noticed this. A lot of people who haven't gone to college have this like stigma that like people who went to college, it's two extremes. There's no middle. It's either you're a retard because you went to college or you're the smartest thing that you went to college. So it's an insecurity where, yeah, you went to college, but you still don't know anything and they don't know anything themselves, or you're brilliant because you went to college. You can be a student without a college education, Fire. You can be a student of life. I know the proper term, self-taught, autodidactic or something like that, right? But you always have to be learning and open to learning new stuff. Some of you people have just cut yourself off from learning stuff to your detriment. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. Granny G told me, my grandmother, Fire, she probably 90 right now. You always gonna learn till you drop dead if you want to. or you could be stuck in your ignorance. There's so much things to learn. You're always learning. And this applies universally, but in your craft, the things that you're in, you always should be learning whatever you're doing. You always should be learning and improving in a healthy manner. I have to keep emphasizing that because the message now is just so extreme with working 24 hours. And no, we're not talking about that far. We're talking about balance and everything. And you always should be learning.
And you know, say, I fit to this learning thing because I realize enough people learn, but them not apply. And that are the key thing, you know, because most people know, all right, them will learn the things them, you know, but them will learn them so them can be like a politician in a sense where we can advocate for facts that we know this and we're bringing this to the people, and we, you know, all of them, I feel the wrong reasons them will learn the thing them will learn it so them can probably go show off for others and things. So this learning is one. And when time there them start apply it towards them life, and them time it have a help with reach the end goal of success, because it don't make no sense we learn something and go store it to ourselves. See? If you even learn it, alright, so you learn it now, you want to put the theory, because most things we learn, if you even learn from the next one is a theory until it start going in a practical sense, you know? And enough one no overstand say life have a way where if you cannot get the lessons them and you not really apply them soon enough, you start lose it. Because I just say self you really think about, you know. Most people just think about themselves, you know. And even if you think about yourself, because nothing wrong about thinking about yourself, you know, but you can't think about yourself alone. So that's one thing towards it. So this application of learning things, you need to know, oh, once I'm learn this now, how am I going to apply this towards my success, or which piece of this when I learn, I can take out and put towards my type of thing so it can reach my end goal. And then them realize that along with that, a whole heap of people always have this whole misconception, like whenever them see somebody with them deem as successful, them start ask them, so what's the secret? All right, so we have to take a look at pause on the one there, because which secret to that them talk about for you? There's no secret to the thing, you know. There's no secret to the thing. Like it's as they say, they use the terminology and say boring. I feel like that was the most plain terminology what they could have use to them, because it's just doing the same things. Applying, if you not even say doing the same things then, because some things you might tweak a little bit along the way, but carrying out the same system, enforcing all of them type of attributes, there being disciplined. All of them things that we get anybody which part them want for going a fire. It's just a plain methodology in a fire. It's not no way too complex, and you have to think about all of these formulas and codes and all of this something, you know. It's very, very simple. So I feel like once people start overstand, say, apply whatever you learn and make sure say it can help you move to the next level if you really want to reach success. And then there's no secret fire. There's no secret, because you have to ask. Think about it. An artist, I use an artist example because I know some most people can identify with that too. An artist make it out and reach on a certain levels and become a superstar. Think about it in a fire. Label did involve, so it's not really a secret. The labels them have one type of plain strategy. Them have a control the whole thing. Them have the finances can control it. Them have the markets can advertise it. All of that. The artist, on the artist personal levels now, them are gonna know, so them are gonna just build them craft, them are gonna practice the music, them are gonna get the music in gear, them are gonna make sure so them key right, the melodies right, all of these things. So it's really the same type of thing. It's just how you apply the particular thing, the way you learn again from the music, and it are gonna build it to the levels the way you can meet the right set of people them, or you can in the right space to make sure say you reach out there. So what type of secret now the people them really look for say, oh, what's the secret to the success? There's none of them type of thing then now the people them are use now for scam most of the most I don't know, because when not talk about the secret to success and all of these things, when you go and buy some book where I go teach you the secret. And when you really start read the book and realize it are the same exact thing them where I reason about now same way I go really gear that now. So there's no secret to success for you. Everything where as it relates to success, it's in the plain out in the open. There is no form of secret to success, but a good attitude and an understanding all of the processes that work hand in hand to get it towards the final destination there.
No, reality, man, it's far right, and I'm glad you cleared up the whole aspect about acquiring information for ego purposes and the purpose of applying information. I want to add not being afraid of new things, because as we're always learning and applying, you're going to be in a lot of new positions, right? And you're going to be in areas that you don't know about. I know it's very discouraging for people to step into areas that they're unfamiliar with for whatever reason. Insecurity, I guess, maybe thing of being embarrassed. A lot of people struggle with being in positions where they don't know, but you have to do it to grow. So I don't really know what else to say about that, right? Another thing I want to add to, after you go through the whole process, you're in a groove now, you have a good schedule, you're consistently putting in that work, you're consistently putting that energy. You have to reevaluate yourself. You have to be truthful with yourself. I'm not telling you to go beat down yourself, because there's extremes to this fire, and we got to cover it, right? You have people that's always beating down themselves and tearing down themselves and saying they're nothing. And we have the other side, people who are just lying to themselves like they're the greatest thing ever. We have to you have to find a balance. You have to give yourself encouragement, but at the same time, you have to be truthful. So if I set a goal, right? First of all, a realistic goal, right? I'm not sure if we even touched on that yet, but you have to set realistic goals. After this, let's go to realistic goals. You're gonna set a realistic goal, right? Then now, if you don't meet that target, you're not the scum of the earth or anything. You just didn't meet the target, right? You have to reevaluate to see what took place. Sometimes it's probably bad timing, but a lot of times it's just like you didn't know what you were doing, right? I know, I know a lot of times I may have went out to do a particular thing. I didn't get the outcome I had, but in retrospect, I learned a lot, right? And going through the experience, by going through the experience, I realized obviously I didn't know what I just learned, and that's why I got the outcome. That's why I got the outcome that I did. You know, and Farah had mentioned earlier about like 90% of success is failing. And when we say failing, Farah, we're not talking about losing your house or losing your life. People take this thing on some movie thing. Yo, the thing ain't work out as planned. You know, you put a lot of time and effort into this thing, Farah, and it did not work out. You know, there is a level of embarrassment with the success process, how you look at it, right? And how deep you are with other people, because, you know, you tell somebody about something or you share with this, and, you know, it doesn't work out that way. Yes, you'll have some criticism, some naysayers, or even people that deter you or discourage you from doing what you're doing, but you got to stand firm and just stay focused. It's part of the game. That's what people do. People criticize, people try to persuade you not to do something. Majority of the time is them projecting what they're dealing with inside, right? If a person, now sometimes you may have just a silly idea and a person does see it, so you got to use some what does my Christian brothers and sisters say? Discernment. All right. You got to figure that one out. But a lot of times, man, listen, Fire, I have told people, I told you this, I have told people something I'm going to do, not them. I'm not asking them to do anything. I told them something I personally am going to do, and they like freaked out. And I'm like, this is a wildfire. I'm not even asking you to do anything, but they're just so scared of anything. So by me doing something that I guess they wouldn't do is like making them super scared. And people are scary people. It is what it is. And we have a lot of them in our family. We have a lot of them in our circle. I'm not telling you to abandon anyone, but you have to have things in perspective. And you have to be in a place where a person could talk, but it doesn't affect you, right? Because you know it already. This person's a scary person. I hear what they're saying, and just let it be. You don't have to internalize what they're saying. You don't have to internalize their fears, because anyone can attest. Something simple as this. You ever been amongst some elder women? If I know women don't want to take no picture. I know women, they gonna laugh if you ask them to do something, because that embarrassment comes in and that lack of confidence comes in. It's just lack of confidence and fear, and I can't knock them. That's something that they're dealing with internally, but I can't let that be my reality. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you gotta put yourself out there, and it is what it is, you know. And you'll be shocked after you put yourself out there, Fire, and you kind of, because Fire, I mentioned earlier the importance of failure. The failure gets you around the learning curve. We need to stop using failure. I think failure is so just scary.
I just see him learning again, you know.
Yeah, I say learn. Yeah. We should say you're not getting the outcome that you want. Helps you around that learning curve in regards to like, how do I do this? And the more stuff that doesn't work out and you're learning. You should be learning. That's the next thing. You should be learning from your mistakes. Some people don't learn from it. You should be learning from the mistakes. You keep going around that learning curve, and you'll be shocked. You know, you have to stay in there. I can't put a time frame on it, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, but you're going to learn that thing. You know, you know what example I want to give, Fire? Food, right? I started the plant-based trot, I believe, in 2013, right? So when I started, it's steamed broccoli, baked sweet potato. It wasn't too much there because I just didn't know. I didn't have the mind for it. I didn't have the creativity. I just didn't know, right? Forward to 2023 now, it's a whole different animal, but it's been 10 years of just trying consistently trying, learning, watching, reading, learning. So this is the outcome. You know, I can make a lot of good dishes, and I know how to take care of my body properly and do certain things and that type of vibe. But this is 10 years in the making of consistency now. Because I got that blender. I got the blender before I stopped eating meat. I got a Vitamix. So I had that Vitamix for 11 years. That Vitamix got sentimental connection to me like a pet. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's Vitamix been in the family for 11 years. I got that Vitamix in 2012. Stop eating flesh in 2013. And only day that thing has not clicked if I'm out of town now. But this is a real talk I'm telling you. The only day that thing has not clicked if I'm out of town. You know how much weird juices I made that taste disgusting and trying this and this and trying this and this and trying to you. But there's a goal. I want to live a certain lifestyle. I want to live a certain way. And then you just work towards it. So it's a universal concept. Life, business, relationships. That's the next thing for you. You got to put work into your relationships. You can't go, you just expect the relationship to be on these sites. You're not even communicating. Not even talking. You know, you got to put effort in there. Effort, sacrifice, man. That effort and that sacrifice and that consistency. You can't go wrong with it. Can't go wrong. You know, you have to put them together. A lot of people struggle with consistency. People may be good for a week or even up to a month. But once a couple things occur that deter that schedule, or like something happens that kind of throws them off, you got to keep getting. That's the thing, too. I think they think people that do stuff is just some straight shoot. They have the same issues you have. They just keep going back to it. I had a pinched nerve in my back. I couldn't get out of the bed. And once it healed, I'm right back in the gym. I'm not saying, oh, it's over. Oh, I'm not doing this far right. That's not part of the mission. We need that bounce back, man. It's too much like, yo, once something happened, we stop. You know, people need to get better. And I know it's a learned behavior, and some of you are very good. Yo, you got to unlearn that, yo. Because there's always going to be a problem when you try to do something for it. I don't care what you're doing. It's just how the thing works.
Straight fucks.
Things aren't going to go like no smooth. I don't want to get all into the business, but far I know, hey, we did a thing chant down in Baltimore, right? Anything that could go wrong went wrong. And I felt I did everything I was supposed to do on my end. But things I don't have no control over just went wrong. We had to work with the program. It is what it is. You know, you set up these things, they just don't work out. What's the term they use? They fall through. That's like the popular term. Yeah, a lot of shit fall through. They fall through the ground.
And a life that,
you know, so
I don't know if the overstanding in a life that, you know, like people think people always feel, them always, like especially when them think about success, them think about it as something where nothing can fall through. Like them feel like, oh, okay, once you become successful, things will never ever fall through. And things falling through is just life. Like, I feel like people get so depressed over some things not going for them way. Things will never ever go your way 100%. And that is just may not be negative, that is just realities of life. Because we could talk about this unrealistic goal, and enough people don't understand say this unrealistic goal that I will really mash up them life. It's not nothing else, you know. The party really mash up your life and stop you from reach to the next level, you know. Because you want outcomes, you fear make $1,000 a month now. But your goal is to start make $1 million a month. I'm not going to tell you say it don't possible, you know. So I'm not going to discourage you and tell you say it's not possible, because it literally can be possible. But moving from $1,000, what is the odds or the probability of moving from $1,000 a month to $1 million a month? The probability is more than likely extremely minute, is very, very low. So once I overstand, say, all right, you know, so my next goal, I make 1,000, I want to try make a 5,000 a month, you know. And start put the things them in place to start make the 5,000 a month. But if we start just jump ship so and say, all right, we want, and all right, here the main point where me I try make now. You see, our directions and steps that we take towards reaching success, every single human being have a customizable business model. And that way we don't overstand. There's not one business model that fit everybody's success. Because a man success, as they talk about even the plant-based thing, a man success could just be being alive, so boy, him just want to stop eat meat and him just want to reach to the level where him can have a discipline in himself, and to him that is success, you know. Yeah, we reason with fire Mike from my kitchen, and the man I tell us say, boy, if him reach a certain goal all the day, him just can burn a spliff and him going easy. And enough ones that overstand say this can be the method of success for everybody is very, very different. So the fact that we keep on a look for others externally and see which part them reach and overstand say for them model of success can never ever be the same as ours. And that really confuse the whole masses too, because everybody I think success them want it to be financial gains. And normally the main part of success for every single body, you know. But them no overstand say if you in order to reach financial gains are the last lap and the last level in a success. For regardless if that are your goal, you know, you have to reach and meet all of these criteria before you can get towards the financial success. Because remember how the world work off of commodities and commerce and all of these things. You know, economics are really where run the world, you know, supply and demand, you know. For every supply, there have to be a demand. And for each demand, supply have to meet that, and them call it the equilibrium. So everybody does have to understand, so that's how the world work. You see me I say? So if you know how to be successful, you know how to follow the methods of economics and understand, all right, there is demand for this particular, even if the demand don't exist according to what you know, I have this thing that I can supply. How well can I supply it? You see me I say? And then if I think of, all right, I reach a level where I can supply it, great first. Then comes, how do I actually get the demand for this particular product or this particular service? You see me I say? So now people don't understand. So I feel like a supply side where most people are feel pan. Because especially the fact the majority we have a consumer mindset, we only train and only understand how we think about things from a consumer perspective. And that's why we want to get $1 million. That's why we want to get all of these big accessories and luxury goods and things to show success. But we now realize that I got really take away from with success, because it's still have I think as a consumer. I think as still have we on the demand side, you know. But you see, if we really sit back and understand, say, the supply side is the most important side for anything when it comes to success. Because what can I supply? And if you can't supply anything in a fire, success will never, ever be in your reach. Because supply is very important. What are you supplying? Are you supplying some knowledge? Are you supplying some goods? Or what are you supplying? And how good can you supply it? And how consistently can you supply it? Because if you supply this today and if the demand come in, you know, and some more demand come in tomorrow and your supply can't meet it, the next man out there have the supply where him go meet, him go can go so bam for the demands the way you have and you can supply today, and next man go come in and him go take with that. Some enough people not even now understand that, say that's the reason why these unrealistic goals are stop them from reach to that level. So you have to understand fire, like, and be real with yourself. If you can produce 300 items a day or 300 items a week, what is the profit that will come from producing 300 items a week? And then that is your realistic goal that you will particularly meet. And from there, you can say, all right, when after supplying this for a time, 300, how can I reach 500? And once we reach 500, then the profit that will be made from 500 minus the expenses them will come with this business. You see me I say? That's when you will understand that this is my goal. So we have to make sure that a part of we process to understand how we can supply things and how consistently we can supply it in order to meet this demand, or else we have to become a flop, or we have to become a statistic where over and over again, things just now work out our way and we wonder why. But the why really in front of you,
Yeah, far. And the last thing I want to say is that in regards to this goal thing, that's why it's important to clarify what your goal is. A lot of goals people have are unhealthy. They're unhealthy and they're unsustainable. As we know already, everybody's goals, specifically those who grew up without or have never touched that dollar, right? Uh, their goal is to get money, right? What they fail to realize is that in order to get that money, it's very tedious and stressful. For you to maintain that money is even more tedious and stressful because it's harder to keep money than to make money. And I think people have this notion that one, they're going to get this big wad of cash, which is not realistic. And also, when they do get this big wad of cash, they're going to be chilling on the beach, flying in private jets and just living this great life. But they never think, how are you going to keep generating that money when you're on vacation 24/7? How are you going to maintain all these expenses that you have? You want a big house, but did you clearly understand how much and what it would take to maintain that house? And what you have to do and what you have to sacrifice to maintain that house. How will that impact your health, the amount of work you have to put in? How will it impact your relationship with your wife, your children, your family? Will you be able to exercise? Will you be able to eat properly? Will you be able to be in a healthy mental state doing the things needed to get these material things? And that's why I say it's very important to really sit down on the success and what you want. Oh, I want a big car. Yes. What is needed from you to maintain $1,000 car note mixed with a $300 insurance price, mixed with high prices for maintaining the car? Like, what do you need to do those things? And are those things leading to you being healthy? I think we need to put the health before the dollar. Everyone's not in that position. I'll put it out there. Some people are just straight sufferation. So this message don't really go to you. But if you're out of the full-blown sufferation, right, you have to make some choices in regards to, because our spending habits put a lot of added stress that leads us to work even harder. We don't put two and two together. Sometimes we just spending too much. I don't want to give you the cliche saying, we're spending on things we don't have, but bro, some people are spending too much money. You're spending too much money, and that is leading you to be in a position where you have to do things that are not only detrimental to yourself, but detrimental to those around you, because you are not in the mental space to be the best you can be. So yes, you're earning this money, but what is the collateral damage of you earning this money? And we're not burning the fire on money. I don't hear anybody talking about we trying cuss money. You need money. We just trying to put you on the heights to understand what you were doing. A lot of goals people have are goals that lead to unhealthy practices, all aspects of your life. Because in order for you to achieve that thing, you would have to neglect not only everyone else, but your own self to achieve that thing. Now, if you want to do it, but don't complain far right. I don't hear nobody about I'm depressed and all these other things, right? Because we pre-warn you, the work you have to do to achieve some of these things, is it worth it? Remember, I've been around people I haven't done it myself. So I'm not telling you what I read. I'm telling you from experience and what I've seen firsthand. You have to be very careful of the occupations you find yourself in and the things that you're doing for $1, because it won't work.
I know something else we're very, very crucial towards this whole thing to fire. Like being innovative, finding room for innovation within your goals too. Because that's the one thing when I realize that everybody, them, as I said, the customizable model, business model, it's very, very important in the sense where it need to have some form of innovation to it. Because if you whatever it is, again, a product or service, anything where you think for bring out there to people, you have to have innovation in it. And that's the only way you can be able to maintain, as they say. You see, if you even think about yourself, because we can't stop nobody from like what them like, as what they say to if you want to be on a beach, you want, that is life where you want to live, you want to every day you can be here and there. You have to have innovation. So example, if you up on a beach side, you're supposed to have some form of system in play where if you have anybody where I represent you at the time when you're not there, you're supposed to have some form of automated systems where can reach to that levels, or you're supposed to have. So it just a whole heap of me can when it comes to innovation, I don't want to go up on the geeky and the nerd side. I realize that I know say not everybody really get to the levels there. But when we say innovation, it not even have to be just technology wise. It just means say, yeah, think outside of the normal scope or how every single body think. And even outside of your habitual thinkings too. That's the main concept, you know. If you want to be innovative, you have to think outside of the habitual thinkings because majority of people, the way them think is just a habit where them really just live out and project the habit. But where them habits, the way have to go start, reevaluate and reassess these habits. Are these habits bringing us towards where we want to go and how they're blocking us? And if you just figure out ways to overcome out of these habits, that already you're being innovative and you just need to add some more extra layers because as we said, there is no secret to success for you. It's just a recipe, just cooking and just testing out different things and keep it going and them something there. So we don't want nobody here to talk about success and even feel like say that's something outside of them reach. Success not outside and nobody reach. Right? It's just what you're willing to do, how you're willing to do it, why you're willing to do it, and all of that combined. It's just a recipe for success. So there's no secret towards it for you. It's like if even with that, you mentioned it at the depths of sufferation. I know enough ones in the depths of sufferation where them have a whole heap of bad habits where them get used to and them bad habits they become part of them culture. So even at the depths of sufferation, you see if a man for cook all a pot and him say, boy, I'm not on money and him final say, yo, him get a little piece of change today, boy, and food for cook all enough food where can last for 2 days. So you see the money where they go back out, go on today. Something you can split that in a little half and show it to a different member. So even at the depths of sufferation, you can be innovative and find different ways. It won't be as easy as somebody who not in the depths of sufferation, but there are different methodologies and different ways where you can carry it out. As we say, there is no secret for you. It's just a way of how you plan for you approach these things so you can reach the end goal. That at the full of the day, the end goal, which is success, and success is based off of your thought process. Success is not based off a societal thought process and everybody. I talk about innovation for even not stretch this thing out. Talk about innovation for you. Remember, you know, there's levels to the thing, you know. So a man with a millionaire, he must scheme out to be a billionaire, you know. And the man who is a billionaire must scheme out to do something else, you know. So you see, you will not even reach another 6-figure bracket, then you have to have scheme and that's all right, that's my next level. You see me I say, I have to be innovative to reach the next level and I still you got to carry it over the top and you continue striving. If you want to hit one target goal, what is next? And vision boards is something I think is important and I think are the basic. If anybody out there even listen to this thing, try, you can even get a cartridge paper, cartridge board and put some things, slap some things together when you want to do it, the time frame where you want to do it. And just take it from this affair. It's very simple. If you even want to steer upon it for 2 weeks and say, boy, I know, someone get to it and you get some ideas after just seeing the visual thing there, it will make it even feel better inside and then you have to just decide, so you have to act on it. Straight.
No, reality, man, it's fire. And I just want to, first of all, encourage anyone listening to just start, you know, take time to clarify your goals. Let's get started. Let's start working on stuff. 4 things I want to leave you with the main topics are starting, consistency and discipline. Make sure you're always learning and reevaluating yourself. Not beat yourself up. As I said, this reevaluating thing, I mentioned this because it's 2 extremes. You have those who just really hard on themselves. You those who are literally lying to themselves, like they're not acknowledging that they're not doing anything. You know, so, and also, I guess it's another podcast we should do, but you definitely should have some type of mentor, someone you can mimic the behaviors of that leads to a certain outcome that you want. Link up with someone who is doing it, right? And kind of just don't hate, don't be a hater, don't be jealous, right? But mimic their behaviors because obviously what they're doing is leading to the outcome or more, successful, more pleasing outcome. But make sure you do that. We give thanks for everyone tuning in. As stated earlier, right? Make sure that you have your best Marina when you hit the town, and make sure you check out our recent short film, Jamaica's Most Famous Shirt. The story of Jamaica's Most Famous Shirt, the Mesh Marina, I Never Knew TV, part of I Never Knew TV short film series there on YouTube. Far right here, Autarchii, aka the Dread, has his EP in the description. Make sure you're listening to that keenly for the word sound. The
It's
instrument
a precursor to the album, you know? Album coming.
precursor to the album. Listen to the wonderful sounds that this brother here gives out. So you definitely want to check that out. Also, he has videos for each song on the EP, which is a great accomplishment. So you want to watch those. Respect to Makaka. I respect the King Rafa for the great work they do. They're assisting Autarchii in Uganda, so we give thanks for that same way. We give thanks for everyone supporting the podcast from those times to now. Feel free to share it with your brethren and sister, whether you think they like it or will be offended. Doesn't matter, right? But make sure you share it. We give thanks for everyone that been giving us a strength from those times till now.